How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much. I've been off work this week, studying for an exam next week. My head is a bit mashed,
Ooh,
but at least I have been off work this week. So it's all
yes,
good. It's all good. How about
that's
you?
awesome. I'm all right. I'm doing all right. Work's fun, and I have two teenagers that are doing my absolute nutting at the minute, so that's
Wow.
fun as well.
Anything you could share with us or not?
No, they're just being teenagers.
Oh
Think
dear.
think of something annoying a teenager does, and there you go.
Which is funny
But,
because anything that we do is annoying for teenagers,
mm,
but quite often anything they do is annoying for us as parents.
yeah.
It goes both ways.
Current conversations revolve around Skibbity Riz, Ohio, um, whatever other nonsense words they use nowadays.
That skibbity thing.
Yep,
What the hell is
skibbity
that?
toilet.
Like, I had to Google it last week when your daughter and my daughter were together talking over the weekend, and I was like,
Yeah,
I need Duolingo in teenager.
yeah.
It's just
That's all you
nonsense.
hear. That's all you hear from Jasmine now.
Oh, really?
You can't get you can't get a normal sentence out of her. She just says that all the time. Earlier on, I was working and she was sat in the kitchen with her mates. And that's all I could hear. Skibbity whiz, Ohio, that's so baby Gronk. I'm like, what? What is happening? What is happening?
Oh God, how
But yeah,
frustrating.
that's fun. So having teenagers is fun.
Having teenagers is fun. Yes. So there we go. So well, talking of having teenagers, so on to follow up from our previous conversations about how we have vegan households.
Mm,
Um, the I think the consensus from the responses that we have had is all we can do is educate them and hope that they make a good decision, rather
but
than
not forced.
rather than forcing them to do anything or trying to force them to do anything. That's so there we go. Right, we've got a great guest coming up. If you want to get in touch, send us an email to howiveganpodcast@gmail.com or
Or you can find us on social media at How I Vegan Podcast.
okay, our guest in this episode is Lauren, founder of Mabel's Vegan Yorkshires. Mabel's was created in 2019 by Lauren and Sophie, a couple passionate about animal welfare, sustainability, and making switching to plant-based alternatives easy for all. Wez and I can confirm how awesome Mabel's are, having both enjoyed the Vausages
Absolutely.
Toad in the Hole recently. And
Absolutely.
fresh from being on Channel 4, Lauren's taken the big step up to join us on How I Vegan podcast. Welcome, Lauren.
I know. I mean, whatever next, right? First Channel 4. And now here we are.
Yeah, the sky
Thanks for
is the
having
limit.
me.
So tell us, we'll come on to Channel 4, but tell us about how Mabel's began. What's the backstory?
Sure. So I'm one of like the old school, and the one thing that I really missed was a good Yorkshire pudding.
Yes.
And so Sophie and I we're married, and a few years ago we posted pictures of my Yorkshire puddings on social media, and all these people are like, "Oh my God, how do you do that? That's amazing! Like that's the one thing I miss." And it was just like that light bulb moment where we thought, oh yeah, like we could try and sell these. And so we started selling locally, and it just gained national attention and kind of blew up on social media, I suppose. We had Fat Gay Vegan repost it, and Ugly Vegan, all these big accounts. And it's strange to say, but here we are 5 years later, and things are going well.
Fantastic. So when did it become like a full-time job? What was the bit that made you
Oh.
think, hold on a minute, this is this is bigger than just doing it like at
Yeah.
evenings and weekends?
No, it's a good question. I think the first year was just trying to kind of like navigate, right? How do I actually turn this into a business that I can, earn a living from? And as soon as I did that, I think it was maybe March 2020, I quit my corporate job and I was like, right, full time, let's go. And then
Well,
COVID
great timing.
happened. And suddenly I couldn't get flour, I couldn't get soya
Oh
milk,
no.
I
Oh,
couldn't
no.
get any of my ingredients, and you know what it was like. There were so many delays with couriers,
Yeah.
and I thought, wow, okay, well, that um ended as soon as it started. But I'd already gained quite a few loyal customers by that point, and they stayed by my side, and
Oh,
they
brilliant.
they helped see me through it.
Fantastic. So it's been full time for, oh, what are we now, four and a bit
Yeah,
years?
I'd say because COVID happened, probably, yeah, it was March. I think we went into lockdown. I think I started baking again nearer Christmas. I managed to find a few suppliers, and that's when I realized just how big the demand was, because every Christmas ever since has just been sold out.
And like you say, it's the thing you see and you think, oh my God, I haven't had a Yorkshire pudding since I went vegan. And there isn't really anybody else doing it.
No, I mean,
Incredible.
it's a really
No.
tricky one. I do just think it's one of those where, again, from being vegan so long and just why is it not working? Trial and error, I don't think there's anyone out there that's baked as many as me. And finally, I found the right kind of recipe, and yeah, it does make everyone's day when they get a Yorkshire pudding with their roast.
That is
Mhm.
very, very true. Yes. And so how did the tie-in with Vausages come about?
So I mean, we followed each other on social media. I think we've got a lot of mutual kind of customers. And I was toying with the idea of a toad in the hole anyway. But I did try Richmond and some other sausages, and they were all quite small. And ethically, I just couldn't go down the Richmond route anyway,
Mm.
even though they are tasty. And Vausages just kept pushing me, and they kept sending me samples, and it just
Oh,
kind of evolved naturally. There was no kind of like time restraint on it, no pressure from there. And it was just, right, when you can, do it. And one day we had like a nice we like to call it a work brunch, where we have a couple of glasses of prosecco or champagne, and like, right, business brunch, here we go. And I'm like, right, let's just do it, let's launch it, see what happens. And they were just not flying off the shelves, but flying off the digital shelves, if you know what I mean.
That's awesome.
They're great
Okay.
guys, they're so supportive, and we love what they're doing. Whole
Mm.
food sausages, you can't find anything else out there like them.
No, that's true. They're another one. I mean, there are, like you say, there are vegan sausages, but none of them are like
Mhm.
Vausages. They are really unique.
And they are getting better and better. I know they are. I tasted one today, actually. Delicious.
Oh, wow.
Some spares.
Excellent. So tell us about Channel 4 then. You went on what was it? Aldi's Next Big Thing?
Yeah, sadly we weren't the thing, but we were still there. Good
Yeah.
exposure.
Yeah.
There were 2 million viewers, so yeah.
So for people who haven't spotted it, I can't imagine there are many, but just talk us through what the process was.
So every year, I think it's going to be a recurring series anyway. Every year, some producers find different brands out there, and they have Audi, the actual buyer from Audi, Julie, love or hate her. Um, uh, One of the lucky companies that the producers pitched to them, and so basically, I think there are 6 companies all trying to get into the dinner category, and we initially wanted to pitch our Yorkshire puddings, because that is our kind of trademark product, but the bakery section for this season was full. They suggested the dinner section, and we just went for it. So we had to present our products to the buyer, and she kind of said, would this work for Audi? Would it not? And she just ultimately said, the market for Audi right now for this product just isn't big enough. And that was that. But that's kind of what we expected. You do get your hopes up in them
Yeah.
against some, great competition, and that ultimately was the end of that.
Okay. But like you say, great exposure. And
It really was, yeah.
yeah, and maybe
The amount of people on our website when it was on, I was like,
fantastic. Well, that's
That's
a
good.
great thing. And also, you never know if another buyer from another shop has seen it and thought, oh, maybe we'll have a
exactly.
look at that. So fingers
Yeah, we've got a lot
crossed.
more attention since going on it.
Yeah. And it's not just Yorkshire puddings and toad in the
Awesome.
hole. What else is on the Mabel's product list?
I mean, we're always trying to make our Yorkshire puddings bigger, better, more affordable as well. So we've just launched a promo where it's, you know, 3 for £3, whereas you get 4 for £6 normally. So, you know, the summer months we're trying to push deals, new products. I made some giant Yorkshire puddings today. It's fun. That's something I'm trying desperately to get out before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say that we've now got tiramisu, another one of my, you know, favorite, like, you know, typically non-vegan products,
Yeah.
vegan crepes, and we'll see what else happens, I guess.
So how did you become vegan then? What was your story?
Oh, so I guess it began when I was more vegetarian into vegan. I was with my mum, and it might have been inside a McDonald's. I think I was 4, and I've just got this vague memory of my mum saying to me, you know, that burger that you're about to eat, that comes from a cow. Like, she knew how much I loved animals. And I was just like, what? Yeah, when you have sausages, that comes from a pig. And I was like, what? Do people know about this? And obviously from that day, I was like, well, I can't do that. So yeah, I've been vegetarian since I was around 4 years old, and
Wow.
I think I'm quite a fussy eater anyway. So when I went vegetarian, I became a very strict vegetarian. I don't like eggs, I don't like milk, I don't like dairy. So it was quite easy for me. But when I was maybe 12, early teens, I started listening to some, like, you know, punk bands, Goldfinger, Silverchair, and they've got vegan members of their bands that sing about veganism, and that started to teach me more about the you know, that how dairy products are produced, I suppose. And that's when I realized, no, if I'm going to do this, I have to do this properly. So I said to my mum, right, I want to go vegan. And she said, well, you can, but you have to start cooking your own meals. And I remember that was the start of me being in the kitchen.
Wow. And so how old were you at that point, sorry? Like teens?
I was probably about 12. Yeah.
12. Wow.
Yeah, I was the one random kid with like meat is murder stickers from PETA, you know.
That's incredible. So when your mum said that to you in McDonald's about the burger being the cow,
Yeah.
was that a
Mm.
deliberate, was she trying to deliberately put you off, or was it just a
Oh,
like a
it could
throwaway
have been a
comment?
guilt thing. Yeah, it could have been a
Wow.
guilt thing because, again, like, I love animals so much, and admittedly she was vegetarian, so she probably did want to, you know,
Yeah.
encourage me, but it certainly worked.
Fantastic.
But she encouraged you until you were 12, and then it was like, then you've got to do it on your own.
Oh, yeah.
It was more like, you know, being a fussy eater, I would just eat toast every day. And I think there was one sunflower spread out there. I wasn't particularly eat, but yeah, 12 years old was the age that I really started to try and cut down on dairy, proactively avoid dishes that had dairy in it.
That's incredible. Other than your mum, what did your friends and family think about that decision at sort of from 12 onwards?
Yeah. Again, just the school weirdo, I guess. I was, I really was the only one, and I didn't do myself any favors. I remember McDonald's again, and I stood outside. I was like, no, arms folded, not going in there. So there are a
Wow.
lot of moments where, you know, I really had to stand my ground and be the odd one out, but it really has come a long way, hasn't it? You know, nowadays,
Yeah.
vegan, we do get the odd comment, but it's very much more accepted.
Yeah. Like the relative newbies like me and Wez who are just past 6 years. I mean, for us,
Oh,
it's been a doddle, really, hasn't it? Whereas there's
Ah, yeah,
never
six
been a
years.
time when we've had to really just have a plate of chips or anything. You can always find somewhere.
Yes, I've had so many portions of chips in my life.
Chips and
not a
Yorkshire
bad
pudding.
thing. I quite like a plate of chips, to be fair.
Safe bet. Had to go to Ireland recently, and that was the only thing we could order.
Oh,
Chips for
really?
Oh,
breakfast,
wow.
chips for lunch, chips for dinner.
Wow.
Did you think that when you went, you were quite young, I suppose, really?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
did you not, I mean, way back then, did you feel there was any sort of physical or mental changes that happened to you?
Yeah, it's really difficult to say, isn't it? Because I wasn't doing it for that reason. I
No.
do have a lot of friends that have tried it and said they feel great from, changing to a vegan diet. But for me personally, it's just been like a very gradual process where
Mm.
I couldn't tell you, but I do remember accidentally having soup with pork in it once, and I was just immediately sick. I could just tell. So I don't want to think about what it would be like now to try dairy or meat. But anyway, I'm very happy how I am. Healthy,
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah. This isn't one of those podcasts where we try and get you to eat something.
No,
No. Oh God,
thank you.
that would be awful. Okay. So what's the best thing for you about being vegan?
I think it is that guilt thing where, you look at your pet dog or your pet cat, or one day hopefully chickens, and just looking at them and saying, I'm one of the good guys, hopefully one day it will be better. So yeah, it's just that guilt-free knowing that I can love animals honestly and without guilt.
Mm. I like going to like my mate's house and they've got a cat, and they're
Yeah,
like the cat comes straight to me, and I'm like, you're quite safe with me.
yeah, exactly. Oh,
We'll have a cuddle. It's all good.
oh yeah, but like, you see the cows in the field, just want to go hug them.
Yeah.
I've so got to do that. I need to do that.
Yeah. It's
So
your
what
turn.
advice would you give to someone who came to you thinking about being vegan?
I think maybe just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Take it slowly, like I did, I guess. Um, it, why call yourself vegan? Maybe you're not at that stage. You're just trying to make small changes. I've been encouraging my aunt to go to oat milk, and she's been doing that. And then the next step is trying to find her, vegan cheese. So don't make it into a big deal, There's always tomorrow, and we're all trying to do our bit. And I think as long as you're mentally aware of what it is you're consuming and you can live with that, then I mean that's a start, isn't it? It's better to be aware rather than ignorant and just,
Yeah, that's a
eating it
great.
for
Yeah,
the
I've
sake
got
of it.
I've got a friend that's quite the eater, and he says he he can only eat stuff if he can see what's in the food. It's
Mm,
bizarre when you actually see what he
interesting.
does eat, because it's like, well, do you know what's actually in the food you're eating?
Yeah,
You say
yeah.
you want to be able to see each ingredient, but then you sat there eating a cow burger or a sausage or something. You're like,
Right, got you.
what do you think? What are you thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
double standards.
Oh, conversations. Yeah.
So aside from Yorkshire pudding, toad in the hole, tiramisu, and crepes, what are your favourite vegan products at the moment?
Oh, like generally out there in the
Yeah, anything.
world.
Yeah. Not just ones that you make. No, if there's any others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
What your favourite
you know
vegan
what?
products? Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, me. No. Do you know what? I've always been a big fan of Indian food. From the day that I went vegetarian, vegan. There are always safe dishes that you can order at an Indian,
Mm.
Mm.
So I grew up loving the spices and the flavors. And there are a couple of brands now. There's one called Chicken. Don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see their product range evolve. But there's also a guy locally to us, Spice Story, and he's got a little unit and he makes all like these his grandma's recipes, I think, and delivers them locally. So I'm really fortunate for that as well. So Spice Story, shout out to you,
Oh,
and Chicken.
brilliant. I've not heard of Spice Story. So that's you're in
No.
the Manchester area, aren't you? Is that right?
Oh, he's a really nice guy. I had some questions for him because I think he was very business savvy, putting me to shame. And he was a great guy to network with, gave me some pointers, and we've kind of been giving each other tips along the way. And I've
Brilliant.
become a customer in the process.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yes, I just found it. Spice Story. There we are. Awesome. Well, we'll tag them in the
Thank you.
post. Awesome. Okay, that's good.
Who's your vegan inspiration?
Vegan inspiration, hey? Um, if I think back to, again, what I was saying earlier about who inspired me to go vegan. You know, it was Daniel John, Silverchair, it was Goldfinger, I think some Blink-182 educating me along my journey. And there's not really many people doing that at the moment in a music sense. Billie Eilish is doing. For example, when she performed in Manchester, I think it was last year, she made the whole venue go vegan.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes.
there were a lot of, you know, disgruntled people there. But, you know, if you are vegan and you want to educate, you know, if you've got that much of a fan base, she did a couple minute speech, and they're very young supporters, aren't they? So that is the right time to get that
Fantastic.
message across.
That is tremendous. Yeah, someone who can reach out to young people like that is
Yeah.
really key. Okay, so do you have a favorite vegan venue or restaurant?
Yes, I do. Again, I live in Manchester. It's called Speak in Code, and it's primarily a cocktail bar, so all vegan. But they've also got vegan nibbles. So, for example, cauliflower wings, bao buns, mac and cheese balls, and
Wow.
it's 10 out of 10. And you have an extensive menu and everything on there.
Whereabouts in Manchester is that?
It's literally in the center, but
Oh,
I always get lost in the town centre, so don't ask me.
fair enough.
It's central.
Central.
And
I'll look out for
the
it.
owner, Nathan, you know, he's a vegan, his girlfriend's vegan. They're great guys and they're very passionate about what they do. And there's another place in oh gosh, where is it? It's called Shrub. It's in Chester, so it's about like an hour away from me, but
Right.
that's always a special, you know, day out because it's so nice there. And again, it's really like fine dining, vegan food and great cocktails.
That was something we loved when we came up here. That everywhere seems to be dog friendly. It's not like that down south.
No.
Is
But
it not?
our dog's a complete wally, so we can't take her anywhere.
I mean, down
Yeah.
south, it's not even friendly, let alone dog friendly.
No,
So,
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
get yourself up north.
Yeah,
all right. Now, Lauren, one of the things that Wes and I struggle with, and some of our listeners have
Mm.
mentioned in the past, is the term Vistopia. I don't know if you've heard of that. The anguish that vegans feel in a non-vegan world.
Mm.
So on the back of that, do you have any hope for the future?
I think you have to have hope. And speaking to me, someone who has seen over 20 years of veganism and how much it's changed, you know, it can be really disheartening to see when Greggs take off their steak bake, you know, or like something gets discontinued and you're like, we're going backwards. We're not. We're just trying to find the right kind of balance for, you know, the how many people are trying to go vegan. So I definitely have hope for the future because I have seen it with my own eyes, just how much it can change in a short amount of time.
That's a
yeah,
great
definitely. I
point. Yeah,
agree with you.
you're perfectly placed for it, aren't you? Because you've been there through the hard times.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, rocking up to Starbucks and having 20 choices of milk. You know, it never used to be like that in the day.
No.
No, it's great.
Yeah. I sent Matthew a picture earlier on of an Iceland food delivery van. It was in front of me. I was in a roadworks traffic thing. So I couldn't move, so I was stationary, I was nice and safe. But the Iceland food truck had the whole back of it was all meat free
Meat
food.
free. Do you know
I
what?
was like,
They're quite
if you,
common. Yeah, yeah, good on them.
yeah.
Right?
And I sent it to Matthew and I was like, if we want hope,
Yeah,
Yeah.
being plastered all over a lorry is pretty good.
exactly. And I think again, it's just like a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there, like, you know, Iceland here, we've got meat free. You know, if you're thinking about
Yeah.
it, go for it. There might be discouraging moments. I know that when I go out with my granddad, for example, he's been a meat eater his whole life. He's not going to change,
No.
but he's just brought up with that understanding that, you know, animals are for food. And when I try and talk to him about the reality of the meat industry, he actually cries because he does care, but he's just a man, he's a very old man now. So
Too long in the tooth.
yeah, but I think he did actually go over today. So it just shows
Ah,
you
good
what a little
man.
conversation
Wow.
here and there can do.
Yeah, just planting that seed and showing,
Exactly. Maybe
you've
next
shown
nice. Yeah,
that's it. You've shown for 20 years that you've been able to survive and thrive on a plant-based diet, and so yeah, why not?
exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's next for Mabel's, Lauren? What's the next plan? I know you said about
Yeah.
giant Yorkshires and that sort of thing, but what's on the
Yeah,
cards?
I think it's just always been the big question mark, isn't it? I mean, if you'd have asked us a few years ago, it might have been try and get into a supermarket, but we've kind of explored that, and the realities are they'll want you to, sell it to them for maybe less pound when actually it costs you 3 times that just to make it. And how do
Mm.
you find that? And also quality wise, how do you maintain the home cooked quality
Oh,
feel when
yes.
it's mass produced? So
Mm.
we've built such a solid fan base now. I think we're focusing on that, trying to make our products affordable. And I think this year is going to be about growth. So hiring more people so we can get out, again, sold out every Christmas, and just try and, feed as many vegans as possible.
Fantastic.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
You could always do like a pop-up shop
Please do. Sure. Got any
just for
cocktails?
me.
You've got
Just
the
for me.
dog.
Breakfast, dinner, and tea.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren. That's been really fascinating. I just can't, it's going to sound really creepy, but not creepy, but really just like, I just cannot tell you how much we love Mabel's here. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely
That's so
fantastic.
nice to
So,
hear, and it's strange because occasionally on Instagram I'll see a little mention from these and little look through again. I think we've had 3 or 4 mentions now. It's so nice, and it does make a big difference. So yes, this
well,
is we do really need you right
Yeah.
now.
that's it. I mean, what we like to do is when we have guests on and they recommend stuff, we just share it and tag it, because we were all in the same boat at one point when we all didn't know where to get a decent Yorkshire pudding from, and now we
Yeah,
know. So and it's the
yeah.
same with chicken as well. We had a guest on last year who told us about chicken, and it was
Oh, really?
eye-opening for us.
Mm.
And there's been loads of things that we've found on the back of just having different guests on who say, "What, have you tried this?" And we're like, "Wow, that's amazing, absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant."
Yeah,
So
Matthew
absolutely.
sent Matthew sent me a Yorkshire pudding for birthday this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
he did. Just for my birthday. It was
you
great.
legends.
that was his best present. So yeah, all good. All
And so
right.
do I.
Thanks so much for joining us, Lauren. It's been great, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
and we'll look forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Thank you so much, honestly.
I like a Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, love you. I just wish I had one now. I'm gonna have to order some
Yeah.
more.
I'm hoping she does what I said and parks a van outside just with a stock of Yorkshire puddings like for
Yeah,
her.
I mean, you are dog friendly, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So why not?
that'd
Crack
be
on.
awesome.
They're amazing. They are
Yeah,
really amazing. We had, like I said in the show, we had them for my birthday because thank you for that. Send them up for me on my birthday, and they are amazing.
yeah, and they're not paying us to say that.
They're
They are
not paying us
genuinely
to say that.
amazing.
They
We
are,
we
yeah.
we we paid full price, and yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And
Yeah.
like she said,
I haven't, I haven't had a Yorkshire pudding since going vegan, so 6 years without one, and yeah, it was as I remembered them.
yeah,
So can't go wrong with that.
that's it. And they are, like Lauren said, they're now selling 3 large Yorkshire puddings for £3. So if you've ever thought, oh, I really fancy trying it, but they're too expensive or whatever, now is the time. So
It is.
jump in and get delivered, and you can freeze them, and if you so wish, save them for Christmas, or just cook them up and eat them.
Because once you get them in your house, you won't be able to not eat them. So
No, that's it. Awesome. There we go. So thanks very much, Lauren, and hopefully everyone will be ordering some Mabel's Yorkshire puddings very soon. Good. All right. Well,
they're on Channel 4, and things increased, and now they've been on here, and things will increase 1% more.
The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. Awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes.
And get in touch. Email us and all that stuff. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share, all those things.
Love it. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
There's nothing better than a hunk of prime Labrador steak, wonderfully marbled. And that is almost entirely dependent on how it's produced. Elwood's Organic Dog Meat has complete control of this entire journey. So I'm here at Elwood's farm to find out a little more about it.
Welcome to Elwood Farms.
Thank you very much, Elwood.
I hear you do a bit of barbecuing.
I do a little bit of barbecuing every now and then, yes. From a chef's point of view, consistency is key for everything.
It doesn't matter if it's a Rottweiler ribeye, a Pyrenees mince, or a lab sirloin.
You can always tell when the dog comes from a place where it was well reared. And every step has to be right, doesn't it? Oh, you should see these guys. So, from an Elwood's point of view, there's complete traceability.
Absolutely. Unrivaled traceability, so it's fine.
Every single piece of dog meat.
Yeah, from pup to farmer's market.
Everything the dog's been fed.
Everything about it.
For each dog.
Yeah, only Marks and Spencer's and Whole Foods do this.
Where else can people order from?
From elwooddogmeat.com. That's ELWOOD dogmeat.com.
For top quality meat from dogs for people. Meat that's local, sustainable, and humanely harvested. There's only Elwood's Organic Dog Meat. They seem pretty friendly, don't they? They're more responsive to me than my kids, to be honest.